So my mic finally gave out, so in the meantime while I wait for the new one to come, you guys get the little headphone treatment. You guys might remember this from my other videos. Yo, I'm so sick with it. Doctor's prescribing me AIDS medications because he thinks I'm actually getting sick. But anyways, I don't really watch the show Ghost Adventures like that, but my accomplice in crime, Koopa, does, and he has shown me a few episodes. Not saying I'd watch any on my free time, but it's not nearly as bad as everyone thinks. People saw that one South Park episode that is hilarious, by the way, and thinks that's what actually goes on in the show. And to an extent it does. They're not pissing themselves, but they are going into dark buildings and getting scared by the noises they hear. Like anyone would. It's just that they're testing for a presence of a ghost, so you're like, yeah, I wouldn't be scared. I don't believe in no ghosts. Meanwhile, you can't answer a phone without having a fucking anxiety attack. But after watching a few episodes, this guy, Aaron Goodwin, quickly became one of my favorite people on the show. There are even compilations people have made showing his best moments. There are even Vine compilations that have been uploaded. So even though this guy was behind the camera, he still got a lot of the attention. And things were looking good. The show was about to go into its 29th season, and it didn't look like this was going to be their last until 3 months ago, Aaron got a little call from someone you never want to get a little call from.
One of the stars of Ghost Adventurers got a very alarming phone call. Aaron Goodwin was told by police detectives that his wife put a hit out on him, wanted to kill him, and was trying to do so by enlisting the help of a man who is in prison for murdering his parents and doing all sorts of other heinous things.
Now you're probably like, who the fuck is this dork? Well, apparently this is Grant Amato. You guys might know him as the guy who spent over $200,000 of his parents' money to pay for webcam sessions with this Bulgarian cam girl that he fell in love with. He was also the main focus of the Netflix documentary Control Alt Desire, and after getting sent to rehab for his crippling addiction, he was like, there's only one thing left for me to do. Move to Bulgaria and be with the woman of my dreams. Which is what he should have done. Instead, he decided to kill his mom, dad, and brother, trying to make it look like a murder-suicide by planting the gun on his brother's dead body, not realizing that he is in fact part of the family. Now look, I hope it never comes to this, but I'd like to think my brother would include me on one final family event, regardless if it includes death or not. Like, why would the better-looking brother let the ugly one live? Ugly people are always the one committing murders. But anyways, Aaron's wife became pen pals with this guy, and it got to a point where they were texting each other on a phone this guy had gotten from someone in jail. Dude was catching ghosts while his wife was texting this guy who looks like Andrew Tate with stage 3 cancer. But eventually his phone got confiscated, which is when they saw the messages and what they were talking about.
Grant had a illegal phone, like a mobile cell phone in prison that was confiscated. They go through his phone in December and find this communication between him and Victoria and realize they had been planning to have Aaron killed while he was filming Ghost Adventures. Victoria was sending the guy in jail, Grant, his location, where he was going to be, and Grant was then contacting a hitman outside of jail that was supposed to essentially kill Aaron.
Now, trying to get your husband killed because you fell in love with a man who is never getting out of jail is some of the most backward shit I have ever heard. But not even that, she was going to have him killed while he was filming his show. She wanted some kind of video proof that her husband was dead so that she could watch it over and over with this bald piece of shit. She was going to probably project it on this dude's big ass forehead like it was her own private theater. You guys remember that one episode of Family Guy where they have those huge foreheads? This is exactly what she had in mind when they got their hands on that footage. But it says his wife had set aside the specific amount of $11,515 to pay this hitman, even saying that he wanted $2,500 up front. Now, I have no experience with hiring a hitman or being hired as a hitman, but $11,000 seems pretty cheap. That dude can buy like a fucking 2018 Honda Escort, used. Not worth my freedom. But they say that they also found text messages from Grant talking about the hitman, even saying he's asleep right now in his hotel room. I need to know what's going on. Can I get an update? Was it done? Now, letting someone in jail be your middleman is something you never want to do, especially when you're doing something that needs to involve people who you don't want attracting attention from everyone. And when you're in a building where you're under constant surveillance, then maybe she wanted to get caught, and this was her way of making sure that they're never ever getting back together. They're never ever ever getting back together. Hope I don't get copyrighted for that, you bitch. What's hilarious though is that his wife denied all of this, saying that she was just fantasizing about being without her husband and that she doesn't even remember sending these messages. And then the cops are like, may I see your phone? No, yeah, you see these? No, these are your messages. No, yeah, on the phone that you just handed me. I know, crazy, right? Now, this did happen back in October, and after his wife was obviously arrested and held on a $100,000 bond. And seeing as that Aaron here had all the money, she was not able to make bail. Obviously, after this, though, there was only one thing left for him to do: hire a hitman to try and kill her back. But he filed for divorce, saying that his and Victoria's views, tastes, likes, and dislikes have become incompatible to the extent that it has become impossible for them to live together as husband and wife in mutual harmony. Well, that and she tried to kill you. I think we can ignore on what you guys disagreed on and then focus on that she didn't agree with you living. But they say that there was another text that his wife sent Grant that said, "Am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence, not divorce?" Yeah, you dumb bitch. And I usually call people B-words, so you know how she's a capital female dog. But a few days after he announced his divorce, he announced that he was going to sue his ex-wife for assault, false imprisonment, and negligence. Now, this is just really him adding insult to injury in a good way, because it says he's suing her for $10,000. Oh, just send her to jail. If she didn't have $100,000, what makes you think that she's gonna have $10,000? It's your money, dog. Whatever money that you're asking for started out as yours. Just send her away so we can get back to catching ghosts. Yeah, you haven't found any throughout the course of 17 years, 29 seasons, and 275 episodes, but that's what the journey's all about. But today it has come out that Aaron's wife Victoria had been cheating on him for months with multiple men leading up to her being caught. He says, now discovering she put a hit out to kill me more than once, got blackmailed and spent almost all of our savings to keep it quiet, and fell more in love with the motto. Now discovering she put a hit out on me more than once, got blackmailed and spent almost all of our life savings to keep it quiet, and fell more in love with the motto. They even got spiritually married, and I now was called the first husband. They talked until she was arrested, and she sought out his help to kill me. So I don't think I've ever met someone as dumb as her. Spiritually married? This isn't Charles Manson. This dude's a fucking gooner who fell in love with a cam girl. He would have literally married any girl that talked to him, and unfortunately, you were the one who went for it. She then tried to apologize, saying, "My absolute promise to you is that you'll never see or hear from me." Do you think that's up to you? Do you really think that is up to you and your choices? Do you really think you have a choice on that? I think he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that you don't even know that he's still filming a TV show. But it says that she was sentenced to a minimum of 36 months in jail with a maximum sentence of 90 months. Assuming that they find her trying to put another hit out on her husband with the same guy. But yeah, guys, Aaron Goodwin had his life spared because his retard wife used a person who was spending his life in jail for not even hiring a hitman, mind you. This guy has no experience in hiring anyone to kill someone, let alone getting away with killing someone. And Aaron's wife is like, this might be the guy. This is the guy I've been looking for the whole time. This is my motherfucker Jones from Horrible Bosses. I got him all to myself. I got a little white Jamie Foxx, baby. Remember though, guys, no video tomorrow because I'm going to be at my brother's all day watching UFC. Yes, there's no UFC all day, but I'm going to get there early to watch UFC all day, if you know what I mean. Probably don't know what I mean. Also, I will leave a comment and pin it, but since I am going to be at my brother's, the Daddy05 family is supposed to be doing this TikTok live stream, and since I'm going to be at my brother's, if you happened and are willing to pay $1.99 to watch their live stream and maybe screen record it to send to me so I can make a video on it, I will pay you back $5 whole. That's a 400% increase on what you spent, but obviously I will shout you out in the video if you do that for me. Until then, peace.